because I love it. I love being live. It's raw, it's authentic. I make mistakes, and that's it. I was about to say no one's gonna judge me, but people do that naturally, so I don't really care. And I don't judge myself if I make mistakes. But anyways, in this video, I want to talk about the 5 biggest misconceptions I hear that women receive when it comes to building their business. And as you know me, I talk everything: nervous system regulation, subconscious reprogramming, trauma healing, menstrual cycle in the context of female entrepreneurship. And in this video, I want to talk about the 5 biggest misconceptions I hear women receive when it comes to creating their business. And the 5 things that I picked out are the things that I myself have experienced, but also I have seen the people that I work with struggle with, and how the thing that they either do or believe in is actually holding them back from creating the desired results that they want to create in their business. Now, there's going to be a lot of nervous system regulation context to each of those points, but you will understand them once I go into it. And you know what? I'm going to go right into it. The first biggest misconception I hear women people receive when it comes to creating their business is to just show up every day. And I don't know if you know the Gary V's, Alex Hormozzi's of the very masculine business world, which I have no problem with that, because I grew up listening to a lot of Gary V and Alex Hormozzi too. He just recently became pretty big, but Gary V has been around for a very long time before I even started my own business. And I remember listening to him quite a lot. And of course, he's extremely successful now. And one of his things that I know that he would always say a lot about his business and why he's where he is that he just showed up every day. And I do agree. Consistency is very important when it comes to creating your business and making sure that people see you, right? And what consistency also does is it makes you better at anything that you do, right? So the more consistent you can be, the better you become at something, because you can't be good right away. I mean, some people might be very good from the get-go, which is great. But most people, when you're starting to build a business, when you're staying consistent, you're learning the skills that you have to learn, and you get better every single time you put in the work, right? And so the context of just showing up every day, as much as I do believe that it's important to show up every day for your business, what can actually happen is if you are dysregulated and you're showing up every single day from the context of I need to show up, otherwise I'll not make money, otherwise I'll fail, otherwise people will not see me, it can actually create trauma loops. Because when you're dysregulated and you're showing up every day, this is where your body can learn that visibility means danger, because you're showing up from a dysregulated state, and you're showing up from lack, from neediness, from needing to show up because people have told you so. Okay. And when you show up regulated, that's when that's when your energy can actually land. And this is so important for people to understand. And I shared this example with my clients last week. I remember one of the very first coaches I worked with, who's also a friend of mine. I was part of a masterclass, and I remember this was years ago. Okay. And I was very new to the whole work that she was doing. And I remember joining one of her masterclasses, and there was just something about her energy, the way that she was speaking, that I felt so drawn to her that I said to myself, I don't even know what she's talking about. I don't even remember anything she said in this masterclass. And it was like a 5-day kind of thing. I don't remember anything, but what I remember deeply within my body is the way that she made me feel. She was very regulated, very powerful. Her energy was very radiant, and I was drawn into her. And I was like, I'm going to buy whatever she's selling, because I want to be around that energy. I want to feel what it feels like to expand by being in her presence. And I'm sharing this because if you're building a business, visibility is a key factor. especially if you're building it online. People need to know you exist, otherwise people can't buy from you, right? People need to know you exist, otherwise people can't buy from you. This is where I see a lot of people hold themselves back from showing up or selling or putting themselves out there because they think people need to come to them, which is true. But if you don't show up, people don't know you exist. People can't pay you. People can't, buy from you. So there is, of course, the truth in showing up regularly, showing up every day. But as I was saying, if your energy is in lack, if you are dysregulated, if you're showing up from this neediness energy, what's going to happen is that you will either repel people energetically, and this is something you can't really explain, but people will be like, something feels off. I don't really feel, or I feel like something feels off about this person, and it's not your fault, it's your energy, right? So alone that shift in regulating you and showing up from a grounded place when you're, for example, going live is extremely important. Now, I remember when I started to go live for the first couple of times in my life on Instagram, I was going live from a very dysregulated state, and my message wouldn't come across because if you know what I'm talking about, when you're dysregulated, it's like you're forgetting all the words, or you feel very like you have to rush through everything. You can't take a break. And you feel like there's so many more things that you wanted to say, but you didn't say, right? And so, yes, again, as I was saying, consistency is very important, but doing it from a very grounded place is really important, because the thing is, it can actually re-traumatize you. So let's say you're showing up every day, but no one's seeing your content. No one's buying from you. No one is giving you a like. And you make that mean something about you. You're like, well, I guess I'm not good enough. I guess people don't care about what I have to share. I guess people don't like my content. I guess I'll never be successful. These experiences can re-traumatize you. And that can dysregulate you even more. So the next time that you post, the next time that you show up, you're going to show up from that place of, well, no one liked my post yesterday, so hopefully someone's going to like today. Or no one bought yesterday, so hopefully someone's going to buy today. And already, do you see the way that I'm speaking? It already lowers your energy. It already lowers your power. It already lowers your conviction. And I do agree with, the coaches saying that your past failures shouldn't affect you today, because every single day something could change in your life, which is true. But if you don't clean up these past failures, that past residue, when you then show up in your business and you show up from that space of like, oh, well, it didn't work the last time, why should it work today? It's already lowering your conviction, and then showing up every day can re-traumatize you and can dysregulate you even more, because now you believe you're hoping for things to change, and it's not from this energy of like, hey, I'm powerful, I'm good at what I do, I am worth it, people are lucky to be in my world, right? It's a very different energy, if that makes sense. The second thing I want to touch on that I see or hear people here in the business world, a big misconception, and this one is really, really big, and some people might get triggered by that, but I don't care, because I want to bring it to the forefront, which is that the universe will always support you if you just trust. The problem is that most people don't trust themselves, or they have a nervous system that doesn't trust your growth, because your nervous system will always try to keep you safe, right? That's what your nervous system does. And so your nervous system doesn't care about how rich you want to be, how much money you want to make, how many people you want to be seen by. All your nervous system cares about is, hey, I want to stay safe. I want to be safe. And so when you're showing up from your nervous system being like wanting to keep you back, wanting to keep you safe, what's going to happen is that you're going to put your trust into the universe rather than in yourself. And this actually bypasses, in my opinion, the inner safety work that is incredibly important, right? Because what can then happen is that it can create shame when things don't flow. Now, I'm not saying that you can't trust the universe. It's a co-creation, in my opinion. But you do have to build that inner trust first because then the external support will arrive. The external is not going to change unless your internal changes, because we know that the external is a mirror to your internal. This means the internal needs to shift. If you want to fully trust the universe, you also got to trust yourself in your decisions, in the things that you do, in the work that you do. Because if you're putting all of your trust outside of yourself, you're giving your power away. And then when you do grow and you do make more money or you get exposed to more people, your nervous system is going to go completely like, this is too much. I can't hold this. And you will either sabotage, you will retract, you will find ways to bring you back to your safety zone. Okay, so I hope this is making sense. The third thing that I hear people talk about when it comes to, again, work, business, strategy, is that it's all just mindset. Now, this one is a pretty big one for me. Hi, Raquel, nice to see you. This one is a pretty big one for me. When people believe it is all just mindset when it comes to your business results, you're actually completely ignoring your trauma, your lived experiences, and your body-based safety. You're completely ignoring that. And this is also what I call toxic positivity, right? And I was stuck in that because I remember, I grew up in a household where my mom would always say, oh, like everything is fine, just think positive. And I'd be like, okay, let me just think positive. But internally, I always felt uneasy. I always felt this layer of like anxious thoughts or something bad was going to happen. And I was constantly wired for something bad to happen, which is a sign of nervous system dysregulation, right? And again, I had to really work through that because I would go through life always believing something bad was about to happen or something wasn't quite right, right? So I had to really regulate myself first and also look at what trauma is living in my body as to why I'm not creating the results that I want to. I always feel, Raquel, yes. I always feel like this, yeah. Which is a dysregulation. I mean, we're gonna work together, so that is awesome, right? But I do wanna really talk about this because in my opinion, focusing only on mindset and not on your body, you're bypassing who you're being as a human being. What's really important to understand, and I feel like if you're on my page and you've been here for a while, you understand this. Your past experiences have made you who you are. And I'm not saying that for you to blame yourself or for you to be like, oh my God, I'm so traumatized, I'm broken. No, this is right now empowering to know that if you were programmed, you can reprogram who you're being. And that is what I mean with mindset and what I mean with looking at your trauma and your lived experiences. Mindset, in my opinion, is only 20%. The other 80% live in your nervous system. And what is your nervous system? Your nervous system remembers everything. Your nervous system lives in your body. It's like your subconscious mind. So on a conscious mind, this is where the mindset is. It literally is called mindset. It's up here. If we're only looking at here and we're ignoring our body, we can get quite far. Like, I'm not saying you can't create good success in your business. This is the type of success I created. The first couple of years in my business, I created from up here. And it was pretty good. But then eventually my body would shut down. And my body would show me all these signs. And then I shared this story here on my YouTube before. I made $25,000 in a month and my body completely collapsed and I couldn't hold it. Because that was my nervous system, where it was beyond my mindset to think positively now. Because if it was according to my mindset, I would blame myself because I was actually pretty positive. And I was actually excited. And at the same time, my nervous system was like, too much, I can't hold this. Right? So I'm not saying mindset is not important. If you don't have the mindset, you won't even do this deeper work in the first place. Mindset is key, of course. But we can't just stay up in our mind. We have to drop into our body. And that's where the nervous system lies. Because on a conscious level, again, on a mind level, you might want change. You might want success. You might want more money, more wealth, more all of this. but your body is never going to lie. And think of it this way, and I talk about it quite a lot here on the channel. You have energetic imprints all over your body from all of your experiences, good and bad. If those energetic imprints still live in your body, they still live in your subconscious mind, and they will make you do things that you can't even explain. It's like unconsciously being led by behaviors that you know are not serving you. This is where you're like sabotaging, you know you're sabotaging, but you're still doing it. Because that energetic imprint still lives in your body, and that needs to be rewired and shifted. Okay? The next thing, that self-sabotaging, absolutely. Absolutely. This is like, I want to talk about self-sabotage. Thank you for bringing it up. Self-sabotage is interesting because most people are aware of it. Most people are aware when they're self-sabotaging, and they're still doing it. Because, we talk about beliefs a lot, and we talk about the subconscious mind a lot. But the way that you can actually look at beliefs and the way that you can actually look at the subconscious mind is through your actions, through your behavior. So a lot of people ask me, how do I know what's living in my subconscious mind? Well, what are the things that you're doing and feeling when you're going through life? Like, for example, if you're avoiding looking at your bank account, and if you're scared to pay, or if you're scared to look at your money or the money that is coming in, that is a behavior. So there is a subconscious thing going on right here. So it's not just about going deeper every time, but also looking at, well, if I know the things that I'm doing and the action that I'm taking, which also means you have to become very aware of what's going on. Loving awareness though. This is not about judgment. This is about noticing, oh, I'm doing this again. Okay, what does it say about me? What do I make this mean about myself? What do I believe about myself right here? If I'm scared to look at my bank account, which again, this used to be me, I would get complete anxiety. I would get anxiety to look at my bank account. And I would look at my bank account and I would freeze, I would shake, I would literally panic about it. I would have nightmares. I would wake up in the middle of the night sweats, thinking about money, worried about money. And that was something that I had to dive deeper into. That was a behavior that was showing up, which of course was matching my beliefs, right? And then the sabotage, these are the actions that you take. And so the more loving awareness you can practice with yourself, the more you can be like, oh, there it is, I'm doing it again. There it is, I'm doing it again. But not from oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing it again. I hate myself for that. I told myself I was going to change it and now I'm doing it again. It's more of oh, loving awareness. Let me look at what's going on. Alone, this is going to shift so much within you because you're actually protecting yourself from shaming yourself into why you're doing certain things. Body is wise and has answers that mind cannot see. Absolutely. You can know and still do it. It's super difficult to break the pattern sometimes. I think the key is to slow everything, stop before acting. I mean, the truth is, most people live life on autopilot. And I will subscribe to this until the rest of my life. Most people live life on autopilot. Think of it this way. If you know how to drive a car, you don't think of every single little thing that you're doing when you're driving the car. You're just driving the car. Most people live life like that. They just do the things without actually reflecting, why am I doing this? How does it make me feel? What is my body telling me right now? Also, to take it a step further, a lot of us, we have not learned how to hold ourselves in the emotions that are coming up. Many of us early on in childhood, we have learned to not feel emotions. We have learned to suppress. We have learned that emotions are wrong or bad, or certain emotions are wrong or bad, like anger and sadness. They're not always welcome. They're wrong. And so we shame ourselves into feeling these emotions, believing we should not feel them. This is also another reason why we're living a life on autopilot, because we feel something, it comes up, it feels uncomfortable, and we can't stay in that feeling of uncomfortable, just noticing what wants to come up. Now, if you want to reprogram those patterns, that is where subconscious reprogramming comes in. That is where inner child work comes in. This is where somatic work comes in. This is the work that I do with my clients. So you can absolutely change that. Awareness is the first step. Then you have to have the right tools to be able to shift that. Now, I will talk about this topic a lot more in my free masterclass, actually, that is coming up this week. It's happening on Thursday and Friday. So if you want to sign up, again, it's free. It's a 2-day masterclass. It's called Embodied Wealth. We will dive into the nervous system and how to reprogram these patterns. So I highly recommend you joining because it's going to be really, really powerful. I'm going to be putting the link in the description after I post this video. Okay. I think we don't know how to hold when everything is fine and nothing bad is happening. So our body wants something difficult because peace feels uncomfortable. This is called upper limit. This is called the upper limit. I talk about this in my other videos actually as well. This is a subconscious belief that you don't deserve all the good in the world. And this showed up a lot for me. This shows up for every person. And as long as you are aware of your upper limit and how it shows up, you can break that pattern. Okay. But it's a good point. It's a very good point. Okay, so what did we talk about? We talked about the big misconception of just showing up every day. The universe will support you and its own mindset. I want to talk about the fourth point of what a lot of us business owners hear, which is charge what you're worth. And I'm actually curious, like if you're watching live, let me know, or if you're watching the recording, I want to know who here has heard other coaches or people online say, oh, just charge what you're worth, increase your price, da 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 da. I'm actually really curious because I used to hear this. I used to get bombarded with this type of messaging when I first started my business. And people would tell me, oh, just charge what you're worth. But this is very dangerous to do that and to believe that. Not to do that, but to believe that. Because the truth is you are inherently worthy. And what's going to happen is if you follow this narrative that you should charge what you're worth, what's going to happen is that you're setting yourself up for collapse when things don't go your way, when you're not making the money that you want to, when someone says no, when someone doesn't resign. And this is a wound that's going to get touched on over and over and over again, right? And that will create a very slippery slope in your business. Because if you believe that money is tied to self-worth, you will have days where you're going to get paid and you're going to feel on top of the world and you're going to be like, oh, I'm feeling so exciting. And then maybe you're not going to get paid for a month. It had happened to me. And it would completely drop my worth and I would feel like I wasn't good enough. And it would create all these stories about me being a business owner, not feeling like I can make money, or feeling like I was so behind. It would create all these stories. And then again, when I would make money, I would be like, oh, I'm amazing. I'm so great. I'm like feeling so worthy now, right? And this is something that is a thing that I really want to ingrain in people's minds. You are worthy inherently. And when there is a very fragile emotional connection to your money and the money that you make in business, it's a very slippery slope that needs to be reprogrammed and changed, the relationship that you're having with money. When self-worth is low, then so are your prices. I do muscle testing to figure out my prices. Body knows the best. I love that. Yes, see, Raquel, you are worthy inherently. It has nothing to do with prices. It doesn't matter how much you charge in your business. You are worthy inherently. Because that belief alone is what's creating that disconnect, making you believe, well, okay, so my prices are low because I don't feel worthy. But I don't believe in that at all. When I started my business, I was charging a lot less. Was I worthy or less worthy? Was I more worthy or less worthy than now? When I charge more now. And now I charge triple that, what I charged in the beginning of my business. I wasn't more worthy back then or less worthy back then. I am worthy inherently. What changed was my confidence in how I priced. What changed is my confidence in my work. I have learned a lot more, right? About myself, about what I teach. I've educated myself. I invested a lot in myself. That is why I adjusted my prices. But I don't charge what I charge because I think I am more worthy. Does that make sense? I did things for free, some people, and after a few days, some amazing wealth and new opportunities came to me from other people. That is the abundance exchange that, we can talk about too, but that's actually pretty cool. So, and then I also want to talk about the fifth biggest, one of the big misconceptions I hear, which is if it's meant to be, it will flow easily. If it's meant to be, it will flow easily. And trust me, I heard it a lot too. And I would subscribe to that belief not realizing that the resistance that you might feel, it's not a sign that it's wrong. It's a sign that you're brushing up against a nervous system upper limit. And this is what you were talking about. I don't know what your real name is, but I'm going to call you Love Wave Very. Love Wave Very, yes. You were talking about this, which is the upper limit. A lot of people believe, oh, I'm reaching resistance, there must be something wrong. I'm reaching resistance, it can't be right. Maybe this is not meant for me. Maybe this is, I'm not ready yet, or whatever. I'm gonna share the story of my YouTube video that exploded overnight. Okay, it became a viral video. Oh my god, my hair! I'm sorry, I'm getting too concerned about this. That video I experienced a lot of resistance with before I posted it. That video, when like something intuitively tells you like you have to do this, and it was this video. I recorded this video. It was an intuitive idea of like, I need to record this video. I need to name it this. It was really like spontaneous. And I created that video. And I remember it was a Friday evening. I was already like, I want to finish work. I want to like get into the weekend. I want to relax, blah, blah, blah. But that video first wasn't editing. I had to edit it twice. So I edited it once. And the full video just deleted off my computer. I could not explain. It was just gone. And I'm like, oh my God. So I edited it again, which took me another hour or so to edit that video. I did that. And then I tried to upload it to YouTube and it wouldn't upload. It just wouldn't upload. It had some type of like resistance to it of it being uploaded. And I'm like, no, I need to get this video out. Now, if I believed, if it's meant to be, it will flow easily. If I believed this statement, which I hear a lot of people say that it needs to be easy and flowing, blah, blah, blah. If I believed that, I wouldn't have posted that video. I would have seen this as a sign of like, oh, maybe this video shouldn't be up. If I would have not uploaded that video, it wouldn't have had all the views that it got. It exploded over the weekend. It has been an amazing journey. But if I would have seen that resistance of, oh, the edit is not going well, and the video is not uploading. If I would have seen it as a sign of like, oh, but it should be easy, and I wouldn't have uploaded that, a lot would look different right now. Okay? And so ease, in my opinion, after having done a lot of this work, comes after regulation, not before. The ease you will feel when you're regulated. And so I got to stay calm in this situation. That was the missing piece. If I would have acted from dysregulation in that moment, and I would have been so annoyed and I would have been like, oh, fuck it, like I'm just not gonna do it, whatever, or I would do it, but from a dysregulated state. Very different energy. When people describe ease, I can tell you this, since I've been doing nervous system regulation and since I have been working a lot on myself, the ease is a byproduct of your state of being. So you can face challenges in your life, in your business, all the time. But your state of being is ultimately the key to making it work or not making it work. That is ultimately the goal. Everything I'm also talking about, it's not about money. It's not about the end result. It's about who you're becoming in this process. To me, I want to master who I'm being first. The result is a byproduct of who I'm being. And so whenever I find myself hitting resistance, whenever I find myself hitting a challenge, I don't believe anymore it needs to be easy. I ask myself, okay, how can I regulate myself in this moment? This resistance is telling me something that I might not see yet. I love that you share this because this other mindset makes people give up so easily. Absolutely. And I've seen it so many times. And I talk to my clients so much about this. I actually had a conversation 2 weeks ago with my client who was a week ago. My client, she has just launched her own podcast, which I'm so excited about. And I was her first guest. And she was telling me how she spent over 2 days editing this video because something was not working. And I sent her a voice note back. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm so great. I'm so happy this is happening. This is so great. This is happening. because I remember my first days of trying to figure this out. This is what creates resistance within, sorry, not this is what creates resistance. This is what creates, what's that word? It creates, damn, I can't think of that word. That word is not coming to my mind right now. See, this is why a live video is different from an edited video, because if it would be an edited video, I'd be like, let me look up the word. No, I can't think of this word. It creates, like, let's go with the word confidence. It's not the word resilience. Oh my God, yes, thank you so much. My brain was not braining right now. Resilience, yes, that is the word. Thank you, I appreciate you. It creates resilience. Because how many times have I seen people give up because something is not working and they're like, oh, it's not meant to. As a business owner, you guys, creating a business, having impact in the world, being seen by a lot of people, whatever your goal is, you got to have resilience. You got to be okay with things not going your way. You got to be okay with getting your heart broken. You got to be okay with working differently, more, working a lot on yourself, doing this internal work, being different, feeling like other people don't understand. How many times have I felt in my journey like other people don't understand, my friends don't understand, my family doesn't understand? That's what builds resilience. Being able to not see this as wrong. Okay, so I'm so excited you guys are here and connecting with me. It means a lot to me. These are the 5 things I wanted to share, and I loved the natural flow of this conversation. Again, if you haven't signed up to my free masterclass this week, come. It's going to be awesome. I am so excited. It's called Embodied Wealth. Again, I'm going to put the link after the video. It's also my last video. Raquel, yes, I'm excited to see you there. And also we're starting Embodied Business very soon, Raquel. So I hope you're going to come. I invited you to the quantum healing session next week. So let me know if you saw the invite, because you already have an invite for that one. But with that being said, yay, love the excitement. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching the video. Let me know your thoughts. Come to the masterclass. Sending you so much love. Okay, so check it out, Raquel, and let me know if you can make it, okay? Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.